Now you can start, unless you don't want things fucking missed. I said, give me a warning when you want to start. Nope.
And in the woods to a very, very deep extent for a long period of time, or at least not frequently for Willow. Um, having the having the sun even directly overhead doesn't provide nearly as much light as you might think. The woods, the canopy of leaves here in the forest is very, very dense, and it always has a shadow across the forest floor, or it always will cast a shadow across the forest floor. Many creatures that live in the woods prefer the dark. But as you are huddled around camp, uh, both Willow and Paige and Brother Pierre, uh, a mix of keeping, like, tending to your wounds and making sure things are all set up and ready, um, you start to feel this pressing, just closeness. Like the woods at night make this glade area where the canopy is thinner and you can actually see some clouds passing overhead, distant in the evening sky, but still there. It feels like almost like walls are closing in around you a little bit, not trapping you, but kind of penning you in. Um, is there anything particular that either of you would like to do as you are as part of your like winding down end of day ritual, preparing for sleep of some kind, or
Um, Paige is probably l- facing her back to Pierre, using him as thing to lean against. So she's facing like that way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Using him as something to lean against, and she has probably picked up a like I don't know a flower, and
Yeah.
is currently drawing the flower.
Oh, interesting.
Question.
Uh-huh.
Would Willow have been able to get anything from the hermit spiders?
Maybe. I will say the hunters took the liberty of taking any parts that weren't directly damaged by the acidity from the hermit spiders and just chopped them off and piled them high. So you can have a pile of things to go through, both bone and sinew, carapace and skin, all sorts of weird goodies you can collect from there. But if you'd like, let me look up the cleaning rules. Where is it?
That was a niche joke. I appreciate you laughing at it.
Yeah, here we go. So, cleaning a body, cleaning one of these bodies, it would be it depends on what you want to try and get. If you want to try and harvest something edible, that is very easy. If you want to try and harvest something that is like more alchemical or possibly like hide or other bits that are a bit more practical in use and not simply food, that would make it slightly harder and it would
Ye-
take more time.
Yeah, she would want to get something because she's not interested in the food because she bought a shit ton of rations, and she
Mm-hmm.
also trusts that somebody in the group is going to be able to kill something that they can eat.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So she's more interested in things that she can use and or study.
Gotcha. So I will say, let's see. Crude, basic, efficient, thorough, and surgical are the levels of the complexity with which you can dissect this body. I am assuming that you are going to go at this very surgically, taking your time, seeing all of the nooks and crannies of this enormous creature that you personally have never seen before, but is not unheard of. Uh,
Yeah, there was just gonna say we don't have to play that out. There were some words exchanged before Willow popped back up, but yes, she'd do it kind of efficient surgically.
words exchanged between her and everyone else.
Winter, or not winter, summer.
Oh, summer. Mm, yes.
Grumpy.
Um, unsurprising. But yeah, for a surgical level cleaning, go ahead and make me. Let's see.
Does she get 2 attempts because there's 2 bodies?
Oh yeah, sure. That seems fair. Makes
Hey.
sense. Simple, easy. What is the fucking rating for the difficulties in this game? It's simple is no purple. Easy, average, hard,
Hard.
challenging, and impossible.
Daunting.
Yeah.
Daunting.
There's daunting in there.
Mm.
Gotcha. So the surgical dissection is daunting, which would be 5, right?
I'm not sure if it's 4 or 5.
I think
it's 5.
5.
Do
Well, if impossible is 5, hold on.
yeah, then it would have to be 4.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
right.
So
Yeah.
daunting, or yes. So surgical is impossible. Thorough is daunting. There it is. Because there's exactly 5 levels of difficulty for these different types of cleanings you can attempt. And succeeding nets you a lot of goods. And this would be, let me see. Where's the characters? There we go. You could use survival, you could use hunting, you could use medicine, you could use survival, hunting, medicine.
Alchemy?
Right. I will I will say if you use alchemy, it will flavor the goods that you get. But I think I would be willing to let you use alchemy.
Okay, give me 2 seconds to read through my abilities really fast, because I feel like I have something that might be useful, but I don't. I have not had to read these abilities in 2 months.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, that tracks. This also gives me time to pull up the PDF. One of many PDFs that I need to have up, probably at all times.
That's creation. Oh. That goes to black die. No, none of
Yeah.
it's going to apply to help me in this instance. Okay.
I would recommend using a story point for this, by the way.
Well, that's going to upgrade. If I used alchemy, I already have 2 yellow, 2 green.
Could Paige help?
Sure. How would Paige help in this alchemical endeavor?
Well, probably as like an assistant, because like she's dissecting this thing, right? She can pass tools. She can hold things up for her. She can provide lantern.
Hey. So help would be blue, and we're doing this 4 or 5?
I would. So I will tell you straight. There are levels of goods that you can get depending on the difficulty you choose. Doing it at a 4 purple difficulty, you get exactly 1 rare item. Doing it at 5 purple difficulty gets you 1d3 rare items.
Let's do one of each. Let's see, because also remember, this fucking system hates me.
Yes,
So that's
yes, it
assuming
does.
that I succeed at all.
Oh shit! In that case, oh man.
Okay.
I feel like it's like, oh no, try to help the Z augment, give you another green.
That is up to you if you choose, but remember, my historical successes with Willow are in the single digits out of multiple sessions.
It's getting better. It gets better every day.
Let's see here.
Oh man.
Start with the 4. 2 successes and 1 advantage. That's great. Okay.
I'll go ahead and roll this other one so that I can get it out of the way.
I will let you attempt that again at the same difficulty for the same level if you are willing to spend 2 story points.
That's a lot of story points.
It's okay. You can use yours and mine.
Okay, are we gonna get an argument against that from Kira?
I'm fine.
Okay.
Do it.
Mhm.
Do it.
Fucking, how do I? There we go.
There you go.
So I get to just try that again straight like that.
Exactly as you just rolled it.
Okay, well, in that case, since we're doing 2 story points, can Paige see that it didn't work out so well, and she could try to boost Willow?
Well,
To her
you're already
investing
helping
point.
Willow.
Oh, I mean, like, use one of the hexes, the augment ones, which just gives a green.
Sure. Describe to me how you are hexing her.
Okay. So imagine the first one's like, okay, cool, helped, right? Second
Mhm.
one, Willow tries to get something more difficult, and it didn't. It's like not looking good. And I don't know, Paige just like gently tap Willow on the arm, and this very encouraging magic flow through of just like, you've got this, you've got this. Look, it's right there, you're almost done.
So Willow, as Paige taps you on the shoulder and says some encouraging words, you hear the words of encouragement, and there's a very strange sensation, like when you feel your muscle spasm and twitch underneath your skin as the encouragement passes an energy along to you that is familiar.
Just kind of a pause and like a little twitch of the head, like she's physically fighting, like the head snapping around towards Paige,
Mm.
but kid focuses still. Fucking so many dice.
Yes.
3 successes and 1 triumph.
Encouragement goes
So
a long way, motherfuckers.
there you go. So there's 2 threats. I will say you are getting some cool shit, and you're going to get a lot of it. But the process for the first one, you managed to like peel and crack open some carapace of like the harder parts of where the legs were. Within them, you're able to get. Let's see here. I want the herbal. Where is it at? It's listed here, but there's no. Hold on, I have to Google this shit because now it's not in this PDF. God damn it! Why can't everything be in one PDF all the time?
That'd be a big
The,
PDF.
this is true. What's it called? There you go. Yes. So you are able to peel some of the sinew back and get at the adrenal glands, or what you imagine are the equivalent of adrenal glands for this particular spider creature. And in doing so, you are able to get some potent herbal mixes that will allow you to create one of 2 things. You can make an alchemical mix called bottled courage, or you can make an alchemical mix for more health potions. And you will get, let's see, on private, yeah. Wow, I'm maxed. Okay, so you get 6 doses of this arachnid herbal ingredient mix, and with that you can make 6 of either type of those things: bottled courage or more basically painkillers, whatever the healing item is called. The Stimpaks, yes.
Mhm.
For the second one with your triumph, so there's something that you notice now as this like enhanced scent comes over you. You look at this creature and you kind of see through it and know it in a weird way. And there is almost an intuitive understanding of part of its anatomy. And you can pull out some interesting things. Do you want to get an item? As in like a magical item that you would wear? Or do you want a weapon?
Mm. Both. um, issue is that Willow is not an up close and personal weapon person, and I feel like that's the only option. She'd be able to pull out a monster.
I will tell you very explicitly, this would be a melee weapon.
Yeah. So we'll go with the wearable then.
A wearable. Okay. So this will take you a little bit of time and effort, but enough of the spider's head has survived through the damage. You know how to extract every one of its eyes and fashion them into a type of goggle that you can wear. And while wearing these goggles, you will have benefits for perception and vigilance, as well as be able to see in the dark.
Hey.
It will take you time to make. It will take you time to extract the eyes. I will say with 2 threats, you will take 2 strain over the course of just very painstakingly slowly, just carefully extract each individual spider eye. The size ranges from like softball to golf ball, and they are horrifyingly large, despite like even the golf ball sized one is just grotesquely large in your hand, given that it is a fucking like arachnid, like a thing that conceptually speaking you've seen in the corner of rooms just hanging out in a little web, and you're holding some distant ancestor of that creature's eye. It is a viscous and slimy texture, very, very unsettling. And when you turn the eye over in your hand, it is like just a perfectly black marble. You can study it further if you want, and well, you will study it further as you are crafting the goggles, which will take you. Roll me 1d6.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it will take you 1d6 days to do it, assuming that like you just in the evening are working on it kind of casually.
Mhm.
I would say that you won't get that time if you are like under duress for those for certain nights, and it's not that you're like running for your life or some shit. I don't know. But if you have time to sit down, set up camp, and work, that is enough time to knock days off of projects like this.
Gotcha.
But
Now we know what Willow's doing through the evening.
partially
Hey.
extracting them, partially putting them in different like vials and jars and fashioning them with other pieces of equipment. Pierre, watching this, is very disturbed, and he will just he's huddled up by the fire, his hands around his knees, and he'll just watch this whole exchange and kind of grimace at it, be like, "Where did you learn to do this? This is a very eclectic set of skills, is it not?"
Willow just kind of I imagine she has commandeered a blanket from somebody, and that is what she is working on so that it does not get her clothes dirty, and like leather gloves on and all that type of shit. And she kind of like looks up and looks a little weird, because I imagine if she's trying to do this very delicately, has her like single kind of monocle style multiple glasses, old school steampunk shit on, and so you get this like one eye normal, one eye huge, and like tinted green. She looks up and then looks back at what she's doing. Okay, fuck again. I need to pause.
You're doing great.
I wasn't exactly taught this, but it's just a reasonable leap of the imagination and a little bit of the challenge.
Kind of scrunches his nose. But where did you learn your alchemical skills? You must have learned them from somewhere. Did you go to a fancy school?
Yeah, I had some of the best tutors in the city, and well, let's just say that it was better to have me running around with all the clockworkers in Termark than it was to actually have me at the manor. The tendency to blow things up.
You see him kind of like his eyes grow wider for a second and just shakes his head. That is quite something, isn't it? And he looks over to Paige.
Paige, who is busy, I imagine there's just like a dandelion next to her, conveniently. And she's just drawing that as she's listening. And she just kind of shrugs and like taps the back of her head against like Pierre's shoulder. He's like, "Okay, now I need a second." Shit. Okay, hold on.
The moment that we all separately need to fucking say our touchstone phrase to remember what the fuck we're doing.
Right? And my touchstone phrase for Paige is her literally just introducing herself and her brother. um I mean, it sounds exciting, you know? Better than nothing.
He like nods and shrugs. It is just a far cry from how we grew up, I suppose. It is interesting to see where our life takes people.
Yeah,
She
and
nods.
to be fair, everybody's a little bit different. None of my siblings took after this.
So, how many siblings do you have? Like, do you have sisters? Like,
3. And yes, the youngest is a sister. Tristan's
how?
older than me, and then I have a younger brother and a younger sister. She's somewhere.
Oh, So is younger like a twin or like lots younger? Are you like a triplet?
Oh, no. No. 4 separate ages altogether. Tristan's 4 years older than me. 3. She
That
see her
was
doing the
the
math in her head.
that was the she like gestures with her hand like up above her head.
Yes, the one that brought all of the fun gods and everything, yes.
She nods. That one. He's it a person? I don't know. I don't remember.
A person? I
You
would
know,
hope he's a person.
he's you know the big tall guy, the marching in the streets. People get out of their way because they're marching, and the cool
Pierre puts his hand between himself and Paige and just goes, "She is referring to the Inquisition."
yes, that one. That one. I it's a one.
It, uh, you see, there's kind of a little grimace on Willow's face for a second as she, like, though you can't tell if it's in response to what you're saying or she has picked a particularly juicy eyeball and is kind of examining it. Just, he works in tandem with them. He's, what would be the proper phrase? A bureaucrat, let's just say. Kind of the touchstone between the church and Inquisition and the city as a standard, but he is getting more and more involved with them as they get more and more influential, sadly. But yes, he is involved with them. Then my younger brother, Emerson, has taken over the store and essentially the family's fortune. And Lorelai's with the, what's the name for the group, Joe?
The
Explorers, Travelers,
the
something shit.
the Explorers Guild and the
Hmm.
Clockworkers Guild.
Yeah. Lorelai's, off with the Explorers Guild.
Oh,
Oh,
that's exciting.
as you guys are just chill, like talking and commiserating with one another, go ahead and make me a vigilance roll.
How
And
many purples?
it will be, I will say, 2 purple, and I will say 1 black because it is getting dark. But 2 black for you, Willow, because you are like in the midst of doing your operations and surgical stuff.
So many dice.
Successes. So you have 1 advantage. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Paige, as you are talking with Willow, you can see past Willow. Willow is looking towards you, and as you are talking, you notice something creep out of the edge of the wood line.
Where the fuck? Yeah, I saw these.
Yeah,
Fuck are they?
you can't quite tell,
There's
but
something
you
there.
can see that there is something moving behind Willow.
Mm-hmm. Who's the last person talking?
Uh, I
Think it was Willow?
think it was
Was
Willow.
it?
Yeah.
Because
Okay,
there was
just going.
just like talking about Lorelai, and then there was like the
Mm-hmm.
sounds of like acknowledgement from the siblings.
Mm. Paige is going to cut her off. And she's like, shh, saw something over there.
Willow just kind of is not offended, but like surprised at being cut off. It's like, you were asking me the questions, and now you're stopping me, and you say there's something over there, and she kind of looks over her shoulder and slowly stands up, kind of pushes her coat to the side, and there's a flamethrower on her hip.
Funny enough, like Paige also like slowly stands up, and rather than grabbing a weapon, you see that she pulls out a deck of cards.
Pierre
In the
will also
same
stand
manner
up.
that she like, in the same manner someone would unholster like a gun.
It's funny that you say that because Pierre is pulling the gun out of his pocket. He does not have a holster, so he sticks it in his pocket.
That's not going to turn out well.
I'm like, I feel like Paige forgot about the gun. That was a surprise last session. She's like, oh, I forgot. You got who told you? Who
Is-
gave you a gun?
Is he looking to cut down on the amount of little Cuviers?
So as you see these shapes move in the darkness, go ahead and Kira, you are
Me?
currently out and about in the woods,
Correct.
and as you are strolling about, you come upon a familiar, not too dangerous creature, but you would recognize them. You would recognize these as snuff hounds, dogs, or dog-like fey creatures that eat light. They are mostly harmless, but if they're startled, they can become very, very violent very quickly. And, well, they make for easy prey. Especially whenever there is a light source that's distracting them.
I feel like Angharad would be trying to come up from like this direction ish to pincer them, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit. That was so cool. The effects on this are pretty cool. But yeah, just waiting in the wood, watching for now. Not quite acting yet, but waiting to see what happens and if she can get to one of the ones in the back as they're moving forward is I think what she would do.
Okay. So, Paige, Willow, Pierre is ready with his gun. Are either of you doing anything? Pierre kind of looks over to you for some signal, because once he pulls the trigger, it will make a lot of noise.
Chicken away.
There's a creature. I do not want to be defenseless.
Don't shoot it. Don't be stupid. Okay, we're just going to back away. Slowly.
Are the movements continuing as three people very clearly see and are paying attention and moving now?
Their movements are much slower, but they are. You can see now that the glint of animal eyes in the dark is starting to become clearer. They, you know, when you watch your cat like tiptoe real carefully on like a toy that they're gonna pounce on, the snuff hounds are doing just that. They are barely moving, but still moving forward.
Willow just kind of lifts her chin a little bit kind of scanning, eyes darting to where the movements are. Well, on the off chance that any of you things actually have a voice and a mind of your own, I'm going to give you one opportunity to announce yourselves properly rather than sneaking up on us. I'm
Snuff
assuming
hounds.
silence.
Yeah, the snuff hounds. In a very unusual manner, like these are canine-like creatures, but they're not panting or huffing or making any noise. It's almost dead silent. The only thing you can hear in the night is just the sounds of the forest, is as they are just the ever turning wheel of life as crickets and bugs make noise and distant creatures howl or hoot. These snuff hounds are perfectly still and perfectly silent, or seem not perfectly still, but almost still. They do not respond to your offer.
Just a little nod and kind of a head tilt back over her shoulder towards Pierre and Paige. Well, I think I might be just about to give us a little bit more light here. Starts unholstering the flame sprayer.
Mm. Trying to think.
Okay. What you thinking?
No, like I'm trying to think like what would Paige do in this situation? This is scary.
Mm-hmm.
The hunters are gone. She doesn't want to fight.
The hunters are gone that you know of.
Yeah, that she knows of. Yeah, the hunters are gone. She does not want to fight. She's going to think.
I'm gonna go grab a drink. I'll be right back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Um. Okay. No, she doesn't know anything about the snuff hounds, so there's no way for her to know the stuffs at all.
Yeah, I'm
And
assuming
they're
it's
still
too
moving,
dark for
right?
us to like get a good view of them to be able to judge.
Mm-hmm.
I will say you can make a perception roll at 1 black. Let's say 2 purple and 1 black. If you want to try and get like a better glimpse of their physical form.
Mm-hmm. Oof.
Fortunate.
Balanced out.
Hey,
Oh!
Hey!
So, Willow, you narrow your eyes, and as you narrow, you see the darkness of the woodland become a little bit crisper. And as the imagery of the dark, blurry shapes becomes more crisp, you can see the outline of these creatures. Let me full opaque them so you can see them.
Hello.
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 Are we rolling initiative yet?
not yet.
Not yet.
We're still trying to suss out these things because the unfortunate side of things is Willow and Paige are not meant for combat.
Nope.
They
They are
can,
utility.
but they don't want to.
You have the utility and the support character with no combat character.
If you would like, I can have Angharad engage them.
Give us a second to see if we can figure out what these are.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
So,
if Willow can see them now, can I roll something to see if she recognizes them off of anything?
sure, you can roll either hunting, or if you want to try and ask Summer, you can roll weird. And for hunting, it would be 2 purple, and for weird, it would be, well, it'd be 2 purple for either, really, I think.
Ah, shit.
Yeah, so she's kind of like tilts her head and will just kind of under her breath very quietly. Don't suppose you know anything, do you, Summer?
In the back of your mind, there's a soft like tingle, like someone kind of getting up and poking their head over your shoulder. And the answer to your question does not come immediately. Instead, you get a strong wave of remorse, this apologetic remorse, and then you get an inkling from the sensation. That's something like a soft whisper of, ah, they're pack creatures. They look to their leader for light, to feed. They are simple hounds. They want your campfire.
And Willow just kind of nods. And we'll turn towards the campfire, and I'm assuming we have a pile of sticks. Have not got it. And so she will just reach out and grab a stick and light it on fire and like toss like one like over here and like one over here so that it's closer to them but away from the fire.
Fetch.
Yeah, fetch the lights.
Fetch lights.
So let me go.
This is so cool, by the way.
Like one here.
Yeah, the lighting's so
Yeah.
sick.
Mm-hmm.
And I want the... Whoops. Yeah, so you throw two little burning sticks, and in each respective spot where you toss them, the snuff hounds like immediately dart. And it is like throwing a piece of like wet meat into a wolf pack as they each very quickly go to the nearest respective light source. And you can hear them as like the padding or the footfalls of their padded feet like as they dart to either side of the sticks that you threw. And the second they get on top of them, you hear this like almost like a and then both light sources evaporate.
Okay. So do they really like the light or do they really hate the light?
I
It could be both.
think, from what I understand, they eat it.
Paige looks at Willow. What? You know, never mind. Okay, what are we doing? Do we get rid of this? Do we put this out? Do we just leave?
Should we just throw more sticks?
I don't
We don't
know
have
if they
any
get
sticks.
full is the issue.
It's light. I don't know how you could get full on light. It's light. It's not heavy.
I think at this point, when the snuffhounds descend upon one of them, I think Angharad is going to try and sneak closer to this group.
Mm-hmm.
A little closer to them.
Okay. So Angharad, as you sneak closer, go ahead and roll me stealth.
What difficulty?
Stealth, and it'll only be 2 purple,
Mm-hmm.
but the snuff hounds are going to roll with additional blacks on their vigilance roll because they are distracted by the food and by the people who are in the opposite direction of you.
Yes, good. Let's see what we got.
Oh, pretty dice.
1 success.
I like seeing how people have like customized their die.
Oh yeah, I was
Isn't
doing
that
that while you
cool?
guys were talking. I didn't even know you could.
How do you do that?
It's in settings, and then it's so nice settings.
Huh.
Game
Oh,
settings,
wow.
configure settings. There it is.
Oh
Mhm.
shit.
Because it's amusing to me, because then you can tell who is rolling at any given time.
So, as Engarad, as
Mhm.
you creep out of the woods, you know just where to step and just how to step, such that your feet don't make a sound. Silent as the grave, you creep through the underbrush, under branches, and over twigs and root. You sneak up, and you are able to get as close as you would like to get to these snuff hounds up here. As you are getting closer to them, you can see and hear their heads. Which, if you zoom in and look at their heads are not canine shaped. Their heads are a bubble of black smoky, just a black smoky aura. And they have their heads close to the ground on these starved canine bodies of theirs. And they are just like and snuffing at the burnt stick in the ashes from it, like trying to get any last little lick of like a errant spark or amber that would glow, or ember, not amber, ember that glows on it until it is completely dark.
Right.
But now
there
that
any
you're right on top of them, what would you like to do?
is there any cover near them? Like, can
As
I crouch in the grass or some such?
the glade it's not super tall grass, but I would say you can probably crouch in like one of these little brush patches here, or over here if you wanted to sneak up and around them. Anywhere that you get these little W's.
Yeah, I'll go for here.
Okay. Can you move your character?
I cannot.
Oh, okay. Then I'll put you. Whoop.
Thank you.
But you are like close enough to these snuff hounds that size-wise, they are about the size of a golden retriever. That's pretty average for them. They're not crazy big creatures, and they are entirely pack oriented. So if the pack attacks, they all attack. If the pack runs, if one of if they start to run, all of them will run. If they start to attack, they will all attack. And right now they are just, from the body language and from your experience with them as a hunter, you can tell that they're trying to suss out whether they need to fight to get this meal or whether they can just have it and leave. If you wanted to try and suss out more, you could roll a hunting roll or a survival roll. Or an insight in a weird way. I think you can roll an insight.
Me particularly.
Yeah.
See, I'm tempted by the insight, but I actually do have fairly decent survival, so I think I'll go with that.
Mhm.
2 purple?
Yes, survival at 2 purple.
Oof. Well, I got 2 advantages.
You got 2 advantages. So you can tell that just from the way that they're poised, they are very hungry, and that is why they're here. And just like any other animal, they will eat until they are full, and then they will go on their way. But the situation in which you find them, this is not unusual to find snuff hounds who are near a campfire. This is where they go. They look for people who are in the woods who light a fire.
Hmm. As they're debating, I think I'll try and have Anghara get the drop on this one.
Okay. So I will say that you can get the drop on that one, and you can roll your attack for a free or with an additional blue because it's not paying attention. Willow and Paige, as you are like waiting for, like trying to figure out what to do next, you see the shadows shifting a little bit more, partially because of the snuff hounds. But if you both could make me perception checks, because you're kind of actively looking right now.
You said perception?
Yes, perception, with 2 purple and 1 black. Close. So as you are, you're both hearing a lot of the noises of Snuffhound movement and nothing. But you're not really like certain, but there's more movement. You're just not sure what it is or if it's more Snuffhounds or not. But I'll give you guys a chance to do anything that you would like before Engrad does or acts.
Well, if they're still debating
Mhm.
and throwing the fire is keeping the things away for the moment at least.
Throw the fire.
Yes, Willow's just gonna throw another branch each direction while they're debating, because at least that's giving them time to debate.
Yeah.
Okay, so you grab 2 more branches and toss them in either direction. The first branch sails down in this area down here, and immediately the Snuffhounds clamber over to it, jump on top of it, and start snuffling it. Just and it sounds like a smoky inhalation of just these weird dog-like creatures constantly snuffing out the light. The second one you throw, I want to do this light source thing again because I like it. And I want. So you throw this other one, and it lands here. The Snuffhounds are about to jump on it, but it lands just in time for you, Angarad, to like only partially revealed by the light lash out, and you can go ahead and roll your attack.
All right. And you said I get 1 boost from.
Yes.
All right. So do I also get the boost from Quick Strike?
Yes.
Okay. Here's hoping. Roll these dice. Oof. It's a miss.
I will let you have, if you want to spend your last 2 story points, I will let you automatically hit.
Oh, that would be cool. She does do a lot of damage.
Mhm.
This would do a lot of damage. How do you guys feel about that? Would you be all right with that?
Fuck it, we don't use story points very often.
Fuck it.
All
Damn
right.
Iris isn't here to argue.
Okay, so I will use those story points then.
Okay.
You're getting the one instance where both me and Amy are like, fuck it, just do it.
Fuck it.
So,
Mhm.
all right. So if that's an automatic hit at basic, then
Yes.
that would be 4 + 3, so 7, and then she gets to add ambush here because she started in cover. So that is 9 total damage.
9 damage. So you as you throw that stick, Willow, it lands near a snuff hound, and a snuff hound goes up to it, and then from behind the snuff hound, this woman appears out of the darkness. A woman with whom you have not seen and whom you are not familiar with. Kira, can you describe how Angrad jumps out of the darkness, barely illuminated by a just kind of impromptu torch, as she just cleaves this snuff hound?
Sure. So Angarad is she's a tall willowish woman, which I'm realizing is a very funny combination of words here, but no pun intended. She's very pale and she's wearing this kind of ranger-esque, like elven rangerish armor, and she has this very pale white hair. She looks almost like a ghost as she's moving in the night. She moves quickly, but she moves with a surprising amount of viciousness, especially considering that her features are very soft. She has kind of an almost waifish look to her in places. So she just emerges from this in like this streak of like seeing a cat moving out of the corner of your eye in the middle of the night as it pounces on something. And it's quite like that as she just whips her scythe around and just slices this thing in two.
There is a moment of like hushed silence as you jump out and swing the scythe around, and in one stroke you fell this little snuff hound, an unsuspecting creature. It's like ghostly smoky head. As you swipe, its head just seems to evaporate, leaving behind the bloodied neck stump of it. And when you swipe the rest of the snuff hounds, there is a panic moment as they know when one of them goes down. They hear the and the breath leaves the creature. All of them turn around. I am going to make a roll here for their morale, because they are not very, very high morale creatures. We're gonna see, where is it? Here we go. And you did 9 damage.
With vicious too.
With vicious too. So like it is a clean stroke. And I'm just gonna see how that goes. Yeah. So did I click deception? I don't want deception. I want discipline. Discipline. There we go. So you like leap out of the darkness and just, and as you swipe this snuff hound, and just immediately it is gone, leaving behind only the small broken corpse of what it looked like a decaying dog almost. You see these other snuff hounds, they hesitate, and then from behind down here, these snuff hounds flee. They immediately back into the woods and vanish into the underbrush. And these ones are going to start to flee. If you want to give chase, you may.
I think she will.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay. So they run in. They get into the woods far enough that it is too difficult for the humans of the group to really see. You guys all watch that Angarad like leap out and kill this thing, and then all the snuff hounds just scatter. Angarad gives chase, running after the ones that tried to get away. What do you do as you see this whole thing in literal moments transpire, like in the blink of an eye?
As soon as Angrad starts, like, pops out and, like, the body falls, Willow, I imagine, kind of squares up as much as Willow can. And, like, kind of half step in front of the siblings. And there is now a flame sprayer tracking the movements as best as she can.
You're tracking with the flame sprayer as best you can. You see Pierre, who like that happens. Angarad starts to run. Pierre like takes 2 steps forward, and he actually steps in front of you, Paige, and will level the handgun he has, the little wheel lock pistol, and try to mimic your gesture of leveling it, trying to keep it steady at the snuff hounds and where Angarad had disappeared to, not knowing what's going on or who that is. And under his breath, you hear a panic, just like, what's happening? Is it a hunter? Was it or
Shh!
was it ready?
Shh.
I'm sorry.
Paige, who also got startled, like, what the fuck? Dropped her cards. They land back in her pocket, and she just kind of instinctively brought out her cane, and in the same fucking gesture, pointing it at the fucking thing, the movement. I'm like, what the fuck is that? She's like, shh. I don't know.
Just listening. All 3 humans just like,
All 3 of them pointing their various weapons at the fucking random that popped out, killed a thing, and just ran off into the woods. Did you see? What was it?
Willow's not talking. Willow's listening.
Pierre is like, he looks back to Willow, or looks back to Paige, and he's like, no, and looks back up to Willow and is just like, should we scream or run? No, that's stupid. Sorry, I'm going to shut up now. You hear like the wheel lock settle and chamber into place again. And it's silent for a good few seconds. Until eventually, after maybe about a minute or 2, the underbrush rustles. And from the tree line, a familiar, unfamiliar face emerges.
Just get the fucking click of a trigger and the spark of a flame at the front of the flame sprayer. Not shooting yet.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I do know that you should have some sort of voice and mind of your own. What exactly are you?
Harrod emerges from the wood, and she has her scythe in one hand. She sort of plants it and rests a hand atop, the top of it. Looks toward the others, raises her other hand, and shows, there's nothing in it. She offers a kind of warm but also kind of concerned smile. The question was, what are you, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I am Angharad, a hunter, It's a terrible thing to be alone in the woods at night, isn't it?
Pierre looks at Willow, like still holding the gun on her, and looks back and looks over and just goes, I don't want to shoot a person.
Paige is gonna fucking take her hand on his hand and just fucking point the gun down. She's like, put the gun away. Stupid.
He takes it, and, like pulls it out of your grip, very like, gimme, and then sticks it in the back of like the hem of his pants.
Willow just kind of keeps the flame sprayer leveled. Yes, well, we do have our own hunter friends about. What exactly are you doing here?
The same thing as anyone, I might imagine. I was here to find something to eat. Unfortunately, there's not much to eat on snuff hounds, is there?
She kind of tilts her head. I'm assuming she's giving off more quote-unquote standard hunter weird vibes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting so many mixed signals here.
Yeah, she's
like this is like, if this is a horror movie, this is the friendly neighbor who
this is so if to be perfectly clear for you, Willow, summer and winter, winter is always unusually quiet in the woodland. Winter doesn't like the woods. Summer does not recognize this person in any sense. But there is a weirdness about them, not unlike the hunters that you knew at the camp, the weirdlings.
And Willow just kind of still flame sprayer up, but there's just a slight relaxing in her posture. Why don't you come a little closer so we can get a better look at you?
It's right about now you notice that the darkness of the night seems to let up a little bit. And you look around and it was dark, much darker than you realized it. But with the snuff hounds gone, it's almost like light has begun to fill the space again. It's a little bit easier to see, so you don't have a black on any of your perception or vigilance rolls anymore, as it is dark, but that darkness is more appropriate for where the sun is on the horizon.
Pasty has gone back down. Sorry, I've been editing for multiple days straight.
That's all right. I still can't move Angharad, but I'll move her like up here-ish.
That's funny. I can move her.
Thank you. And she moves slowly but very gracefully. That said, as she approaches, you can see that there's kind of this maudlin look to her. She has the look of a woman who's probably cried a lot in her life. Just one of those faces, you know. But for somebody who's using a scythe of that size, she does look a little thin to effectively wield it. Besides that, you do notice as she approaches that you'd probably see her ears are somewhat pointed, and there's a faint glow to her eyes that you can see reflecting the campfire that's behind you.
The glowy eyes, in just your experience from what you remember of some of the other weirdlings, that's not too uncommon for weirdling hunters. It's actually the only weirdling hunter, hunters, the only weirdlings and weirdling hunter who you know does not have glowy eyes, or you at least did not see them, would be Vincent, because he always wears his sunglasses, and Lisa Silvers, who is easily the most human passing of the weirdlings.
Vampires.
Yes, vampiro. Paige, you see plain as day written across Pierre's face, like Angarad steps into the silky moonlight in the middle of this glade, brandishing this just immense and elegant weapon. And Pierre is just awestruck by this. It is like looking at it is like looking at an Edgar Allan Poe poem come to life and realizing that you love dark poetry.
Oh my god. I imagine Paige was like a little on edge, but as she gets closer and they can see her more, she like eased up a bit. And she sees Pierre at the corner of her eye. And she just looks at him, looks back at it, and Herod looks back at him and just fucking sighs. She's like, are you fucking kidding me?
What? 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 What did I do?
Nothing.
Do I have something on my face?
No. Shh. And she steps forward, and she's gonna just like pat on the arm. She like as she steps forward, giving like a very friendly wave to Angharin. She is now leaning on her little cane that she's got. And by the way, for context, her cane is not like a walking cane. It looks like a magician's cane. It's like
Well, those
gold.
black and white ones.
Sort of. It's like gold, and the very top handle is like a pink quartz kind of thing.
Okay.
That she's now using to like lean on. Like it looks. Here you go for easy reference on what she's leaning on. The handle of it is this.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. And she had that pointed, like, handle first before, and now she's leaning on it as she waves at Herod. She's like, hello. Sorry for before. He was, very scary in the dark and very far, but you look very nice. And when you're not in the dark and in the woods with the, what were those?
Snuff hounds.
Snuff
Oh.
hounds?
I think it is because they snuff out the light. Is that correct? That is a clever name. That is exactly why they are named snuff hounds.
And Herod still holding her hand up, very don't shoot. Nods and smiles. And even when she smiles, there's kind of a weird maudlin look to her smile. That's exactly right. You're a clever lad, aren't you?
Scratches the back of his head like, I've been told I'm a good cook, but not very clever. But thank you for noticing.
God.
Farrah
Herod-
just looks over at him and will look towards Anger. And slowly the fire on the flame sprayer blinks out and she'll stash it away under her coat again. Well, weirdling, I see. But not the strangest one I've seen.
Oh, do you want to sit? I saw some marshmallows if you want some.
Marshmallows. Thank thee. It's a kind offer to make to someone you've just met. It's been so long since I had companions in the woods.
Are you out there alone? That seems dangerous. Pierre is going to take a step back and like go to a spot closer to the fire. And the way that he is walking and moving with his body language is very invitational. Like, you know, when you walk and kind of tilt your shoulders to like keep someone included, and there's this kind of like, yeah, follow me kind of movement.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing that. He's very much like, yeah. The implication being, come sit by the fire.
He's simping.
He sees big woman with big scythe.
He is
Not quite.
fucking simping.
He's hoping he didn't know it until right now.
I guess, pausing for a second, I guess we should describe our characters for
Yeah,
Kira,
let's
because
just-
Kira
everyone-
has
Yeah.
heard the description.
I volunteer Z first.
No! Why you say that when I start stretching?
Okay, fine. We'll make Pierre go first.
Pierre, what the fuck do you mean, big Pierre? He's not a piece of, get out of here.
Okay. Oh wait. Oh, we already. Okay, never mind. I was gonna say. But how close is she? Where's she going, Kira?
I think she'll aim for where she's been invited. So over here.
Okay. Well, she's taking Paige's spot, so Paige is gonna go fucking over here, I guess. Her brother is simping. She should have known.
But since Amy is clearly avoiding describing Paige,
Maybe.
Willow is, I forget how tall I've said Willow is.
She's like 5'7"-ish, right?
I forget too.
She's taller.
She's on the taller side, but not
She's
the
on the taller
tallest.
Well, she can look. Do you have a thingy on your sheet, right?
Did I actually fill that out?
We get XP if we did, so I assume you did.
5'11".
Yeah, she's a tall one.
Yeah, tall. God fucking damn.
Still
She is
not the
slightly
tallest.
shorter.
How tall
Not
is
the tallest.
And Harrod's 6 even.
Mm.
And most of my other tall characters are still taller than Willow.
Mm.
She's this 5'11", just kind of. She's skinny and fit, but she is not like super slim or muscular even. Just kind of standard built with what would be very simple, kind of muted brown hair that they're out in the woods and have been traveling, has been very carefully braided and then wrapped into a bun. You can tell it would be pretty long if it was let loose, but is pinned up in very much a mess at this point, I assume, with just clothing that you can tell is very high quality, finely made, not necessarily the newest, but very, type of money that you have with somebody who has money, or type of clothing you have if somebody has money and is taking care of their clothes. With a long blue kind of overcoat that goes past her knees and sturdy, like brown, leathery, like riding pants and riding boot, and a kind of ruffled shirt, plain kind of white cream colored shirt underneath. But what is most interesting is that she has kind of these heavy duty leather working gloves on over the top of her clothing, and then like kind of a waist cincher type belt over the top of everything, and there's a shit ton of little tools and trinkets and bottles and gears, and like you see a random like kind of pipe going from like some bottle on her waist somewhere up behind under the jacket. Like it's very clearly cobbled together, kind of steampunky. There's shit going on with circular round kind of gold rimmed glasses, one that has just a very faint kind of ruby tint, and the other that's the old school, like there's 4 or 5 different lenses that can be dropped down in front of it to get closer and do different things, with like 3 of them dropped down on one side. And then she carries herself with this very proper straight back kind of rigid posture, and it's kind of surprising compared to the rest of her presentation. You do see a very kind of thin scar that runs from her chin up across her lips and onto her cheekbone that you would not expect to see on somebody that kind of has this posture and carrying. But aside from that, just kind of money, and whether intentional or not, very plain. Paige.
Okay. Well, Paige is a whopping 4'10". She has a very, very like small and like frail figure. She's very, very easily to see that she's very physically weak. No muscle definition whatsoever. Um, but she has very like a very stylishly messy hair, the kind that she works very hard to make look like it's very easy. But she's wearing a pink. I imagine she mostly has like dresses on, but she also has a cloak that she's got on that's really like dark, like a dark gray, dark black, but with like pink detailing on the inner lining, and that goes with her hat that she has. It's a top hat that she's wearing, and it's got like a little flower pinned on the top of the brim, where the brim meets the top part of the hat that she has on, paired with that gold and pink cane that she's got. And as she like sits down, she kind of walks around the campfire and kind of like, I don't know, she she probably walked like this way around the back of Pierre and kind of just like nudged him as she passed him. I think like ran a hand through his hair to fuck it up a little bit. As she walked past, she kind of moves very like bouncy, as she kind of like practically half skipped over as she sat down to where across the fire next to Willow, and just very carefully just like arranged all of her shit, because she's got like a little backpack on, but that's it. All her gear is just a small little backpack and like her cane that you can see, as she just pulls out the little notebook she had before, as she kind of wiggles in her seat, very, very eagerly facing Angharad, and a very friendly smile and demeanor on her. She seems very excited.
And for posterity, I will describe the boy.
Thank you.
So Pierre is a similar age to Paige. I think he's slightly older, right?
Right. Yeah, sorry, I forgot the age. Paige is 26, Pierre is 28.
Yes. So he is a late 20-something with short, kind of messy blonde hair. It's the kind of hair that is cut to be kind of just left as the hairdo. Like, he doesn't style it. It's just the way it is because that's how he wakes up. And it looks pretty all right. Clean shaven face, very, very bright eyes, similar to Paige. His demeanor, even when he is not actively smiling, he has a very like smiley kind of energy around his face and with his posture most of the time. He just seems, again, similar to Paige, like a kind of bright person. He is a little bit more square in the shoulders and doesn't have a lot of sculpted big muscle, but he is a like bigger, broader person, and it's the kind of muscle you get from like lifting 50-pound bags of flour over your head. Like, it's like working chef muscle kind of. And he's wearing like some pretty standard heavier knit pants and hiking boots that double as kitchen boots. And he's carrying like a small like rope pull rope seal bag. I can't remember the name of what those are called, but you know what I mean. And he sits on the fire, probably furthest away from the opposite end, where there is the pile of spider leftovers from the hermit spider. Hermit spiders, which you would also know almost on sight, Angarad, because you would see something that looks, it resembles like vines and logs, but it is as if the vine did not bend in a vine-like way, rather it bent like a joint, and that is a telltale sign of hermit spider. So like you see Pierre, who is a relatively tall, pretty burly-looking guy, trying not to stare at you, but failing.
So Angharad looks over this gathered motley crew, looks to the spiders, then looks to Pierre, holds that for a second before looking to the others. I see that the hermit crabs, or crabs, sorry, hermit spiders have troubled thee. Thou hast made short work of them.
Those things?
She nods.
Well, we owe it to the hunters. Once they return, I'm sure they will have more to talk to you about. They are quite lovely, both of them. They are not here, but there's Madeline, who I believe.
Madigan!
Oh, you're right. Madigan, who goes by Maddie, and she is a dog-ish woman. And he like looks over to Paige and Willow, like he doesn't
Shake.
know what type of canine she is.
Shake head, shake head.
As Pierre says this, so Angharad's eyes are like a amberish color, and they do glow at night, but they seem to glow even brighter at the mention of this. And there's a kind of lightness that seeps into her. She's a very silvery person, usually, very wan, but now it seems as if a bit of the camp light has sunk into her. And she tilts her head with an excited but almost afraid air. Madigan, are you certain?
Paige would know more than me, but she's been going by Maddie, so that is how I know her. At least how I refer to her.
Nod, nod. Yes,
And-
Missy. Oh,
And
good.
then there is Electra, who is the premier hunter from the premier hunter family. They are There are our wilderness guides here while we go trekking through the wood.
Yes, they are very cool and very fast, and they took care of those spiders. Are you not? She like raises up her hands, making like a motion as if she's like attacking something with like a weapon of some kind, like a knife, a sword. She doesn't have her hands in the right spot for either, but the motion is there. You know, they took care of the spiders and the trees, and so they're making sure they can be safe. So they're out and about, but they're going to be back soon.
And you are a hunter as well, right? If you are a hunter, then maybe you would have seen them around. If the name is familiar.
I believe that is dependent on whether or not you're from the Termont hunting camp or spent any time there.
Oh my goodness.
That is true. Are you from a different city?
Are you?
And Herod, there's a kind of, I want to say nervous energy, but it's not necessarily that she's nervous. It's more anticipatory than it is nervous, really. She looks to the fire. There are marshmallows present, right?
Yes.
Without any of the hesitation about being next to a giant fucking spider corpse. She just spears one and she holds it in front of the fire. Mine is the woods. I have patrolled the woods and looked after them for quite some years. I'm unfamiliar with thy friends, but I suspect that we have someone in common. Someone very important.
I don't
She
suppose
narrowed. Oh,
Go ahead.
no, go.
Just Willow immediately hears that, and you just hear a squelch of nastiness. She pulls something else out, kind of examines it, and looks back to her.
You hear the as Willow gets a particularly useful eyeball.
Particularly useful.
And I don't suppose you're going to expound on who that person is.
And Herod looks over the rest of the group, and there's that shine in her eye again. Um, was it Alexandria who sent you here?
Do we know an Alexandria?
I don't know. Do you? Turns to Willow.
Fucking opening the NPC book. It's been 2 months, people. I don't remember shit.
I don't think we know an Alexandria.
You, Willow, would probably known by reputation at this point, but Alexandria is Hawk's first name.
Oh, that's what I was thinking. Yeah. And just kind of tilts her head. You mean Hawk? She just kind of gestures vaguely above her head for tall and big.
And Herod nods, and quite a contrast with her very exhausted character. She seems animated. Yes, that one. Alexandria Hawk. She taught me everything I know.
Well, that is not a surprise, considering she is the oldest hunter I've ever seen. And you do not get old in this profession if you do not know what you're doing.
see. Wait a second. What is your name? Did we not ask? I'm sorry.
She did introduce herself when
Okay,
she
did we
stepped
introduce
from
ourselves?
the trees.
Oh no, my manners. It's like she was so focused on like new person. She's like, fuck, I didn't introduce myself. Just goes very quickly. She's like, sorry, my name is Peach, and how do you know?
As I said, she taught me everything there is to know. We worked together for many years.
And she, what, pointed you in our direction?
No, we parted ways some time ago. It was a tragic incident, really.
What happened?
Well, I imagine Hawk's busy. She has been hunting for a long time, so she must move on occasionally, right? That is what hunters do, I suppose.
It has been many a year since I've seen her.
Oh, how long ago was that?
Joe, it's been like, how long has it been? It's been like, what, 20 years?
Yeah, just about. Just thereabouts.
And Harrod stops. And you can see her trying to tilt her head as she sorts through something. I think 20 years. No more, no less.
Pierre blinks, like, kind of looks and examines your Angrad's face. And as he does, he blushes a little bit and says, if you pardon me saying so, but you must have been so little. So Ark must have been an inspiration for you to become a hunter. Is that right?
Oh, yes, I was very young at the time. There was much that I did not understand, much that I understand better now.
Nods. Like, he has this very understanding, like, yes, I too remember being young and not knowing many things, being only 28.
And Harriet doesn't look very old. She looks to be in like her mid 20s.
So you were, small, and Ox taught you, all of the hunter things, and then you just were in the woods by yourself.
Not entirely by myself. There have been other companions here and there, but it is so difficult to find companionship in the woods, is it not?
I would not know. I have not gone into the woods, but for this instance, with me and my sister. And I hope to keep it like that for many years to come, after we accomplish our business, of course.
And what, if I may ask, brings thee to the woods?
Well, we may answer that after you explain exactly how you made a guess that we also knew Hawk.
You, Willow, like, there was a half second where Pierre was willing to just give that information out for free, and you stepped right in front of him. You can see that Pierre is unusually talkative. He is very, very interested in Angarad.
I'm starting to feel what Z must have felt however long we've had Holy Blood.
The stupid sibling
Yeah.
syndrome. Yep.
Stupid sibling, pretty girl. Oh god.
Angharad offers a smile to Willow. It's a very warm smile, but it's also a very soft and delicate one. Most of her facial expressions look as if have the quality of like lace to them, you know?
Mm.
And the question was, how did I know about Hawk, right?
Yeah. How did she guess that they also knew Hawk or were here because of Hawk?
I can understand why you might be a bit hesitant. You see, it's a very simple matter. Hawk used to tell me all the time about Madigan and how she would have liked the two of us to meet. Unfortunately, it wasn't meant to be. Until now, that is.
Oh, well, this is good then. You are finally getting around to something that is long overdue, it would seem.
Angharad nods and continues turning her marshmallow over in front of the fire. It's quite burnt by now, but she seems to like it that way. She popped. Go on.
Go ahead.
No.
Finish your description.
She pops it into her mouth. Doesn't seem to have much hesitation about it being hot.
Paige cringes.
Just kind of this like slightly wet slap, and then another one as the fucking leather gloves come off. And Willow stands up where she had kind of sat on her heels again, working. And she's going to. This is Willow. Yay. I'll come right up over to where she's sitting and kind of lean down, ignoring personal space rules completely.
Oh, it's this version of Willow. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Have fun.
And you can see her just very closely examining Anger, not touching yet, but there is the calculating look, and you can see her kind of staring at various features and tilting her head, and there's kind of like mouth moving very slightly, like she is kind of mouthing words to herself. Can I roll to figure out what this bitch is? Or at least what version of weirdling I think she might fall into.
Sure, I will let you attempt.
It's your Pokemon typing.
See.
Yep. I
I
have
will
to
let
with
you
every weirdling that comes,
every
PC or not.
weirdling. you have to get a lowdown as like, okay, what magical creature plus human are you?
What Pokedex
I
entry?
will let you try either hunting or lore or medicine. Medicine will give you more like direct physiological kind of things that will let you draw conclusions from those. The other two are more what you can gather from her and pin directly to a creature.
It'll be lore, I believe. Let me double check if I have anything. And how many purple do you want? Or black do you want?
I will say, give me. Also, hello. Give me.
Hello.
Let's do
I'm alive. Really?
2. Let's do 3 purple. 3 purple, no black. But I will, for the fun of it, I will give you all a point and upgrade this once. I need to spend these points too.
Well, we get another point because Iris just joined. So,
That's true. You do get a point from Iris joining. 1, 2, 3.
check pertain to the area.
Welcome, Iris.
Okay, so you said how many did you say again? Sorry, I was reading something.
3 purple, upgrade once.
Well, I'm gonna cancel out that upgrade because I have an ability, specialist knowledge that can reduce the difficulty of a check once.
Hey, all right, there you go.
Hey.
That's fair. That's straight. We're playing Genesys. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's fucking go. 3 successes. Awesome. So, Willow, you are trying to note all of the very, very, like, most prevalent features. And as you are examining her and kind of get, like, right up in her face to notice, like, all the minute details, like, is her skin, is there, like, a little bit of scaliness to it? Is there a veneer of some kind of, like, thin slime of some kind? Maybe she has, like, little bits of hair or fur. You're just trying to grab every last little bit of detail. What you can gather from being up close to her, she doesn't have fangs. She doesn't have any sort of rough leather texture to her skin at all. She looks very mundane human in terms of her
Physiology.
like physiology, similar to Lisa Silver's. But as you're looking, there is a just a feeling of enamored. I don't know what the word is for it, but you are becoming very quickly enamored with looking at her. Just beholding this person has appeal to it. And there is a very, like, clear point where you are just kind of staring into her eyes and almost gazing. Can you make me either let's do discipline, or you can do weird? And it will be at 3 purple.
Okay. Discipline or weird. Okay, we're gonna do weird. Would this count as a social check? Even if I'm rolling weird?
That's interesting. I think it would.
Okay. Going to add an automatic advantage to this through Ensorcelled.
Mm-hmm. Perfect.
Damn it. Fuck it. Nope, we're not doing that. I'm gonna use my other thing.
What's your other thing?
thing?
I have incredible luck, so I can reroll as many dice as I want for one check.
Hey.
So we're just gonna reroll that whole fucking thing. Because I don't like any of
You got a lot of failures on those purple. Fewer failures. Hey, there you go.
2 successes,
Okay,
3
so
advantages.
cool. with 2 successes and 3 advantage, you are getting lost in Angarad's eyes, and you feel this like inherent, just wistful. I want to say almost like schoolgirl interest in when you first discover someone who is pretty and you like to look at them just because you think looking at them is nice. And it is like noticing all of the small features you enjoy about a person's appearance. Like the smoothness of her blemishless skin, like the flawless way her hair falls over her ears and just carefully brushes against her cheek. And then you feel, Willow, a knocking almost in the back of your head, like somebody trying to open a door and the door is shut. They knock on it and it wakes you up, and you feel Summer pressed against you like she is sticking over your shoulder again. And she says, "Me thinks she has a compulsion, but I think she doesn't know it." And you feel Summer kiss the top of your head and then fade into the background. With your previous successes on your attempt at diagnosing what type of weirdling she is, you are able to gather that she is probably some type of fae with that compulsion, that just passive urge that just washes over people. It's very fae-like, but that it's incredibly hard to narrow down what kind of fae she is. Only that she is.
And Willow, still examining Angerad, will kind of moves back just a little bit as she, rather than kind of bent over at the waist and in her face, is now kind of squatting down and looking and like tilting her head and kind of like looking down her back and then back front again. And she just kind of tilts her head. Can't say that I've met many Fae, Kim.
Angharad doesn't actually seem surprised or even bothered by this examination. And she just kind of submits to it without very much in the way of fighting. Well, in all my years, I've never met anyone quite like me.
From beside you, Pierre, you can't. He doesn't say anything, but you see him just nod a couple times with this sort of dreamy look in his eyes.
Willow kind of looks his direction and looks back to Anger. I don't suppose you're capable of turning that little feature off, are you?
She smiles again, and it's one of those very light smiles. What do you mean?
Gestures to Story-Eyed Man.
Pierre takes a second, looks up at the gesture, then looks around, then looks back and goes, "Did I do something wrong? Is there something on my face?" Just wipes his face.
No, you didn't do anything wrong. But I imagine it's a little strange. You see, every time I meet anyone, it's always like this. Thou canst not help it. And Angharad reaches out and touches, ruffles his hair a little before withdrawing her hand.
he blinks, and the tint of blush appears on his cheeks again.
Mm. Don't worry. Willow stands up, glances at Paige, does this kind of like hand palm out, kind of down, placating gesture. We'll walk around to the other side of Pierre, examine him for a second, find a nice meaty piece of his arm, and pinch.
Like, he was settling back in, not really paying attention. Like, looks to the fire and is like, oh, and then you pinch his arm, and like you pinch the worst spot, like the back of the tricep, like in the tender area. Just get a nice little like pinch, and he just very startlingly loudly and high pitched for someone of his like size and shape. He like yay, like yelps, jumps. He's like, "What did you pinch me for? I did not ask for that. I am just sitting here by the fire enjoying the warmth." He rubs his arm.
I'm
That really hurt.
snapping you out of the compulsion that the Faken tend to have.
Compulsion?
Well, you're not nearly as starry-eyed and wistful as you were 2 seconds ago. So yes.
He looks at Angarad and then looks back at you, and now he is pink in the face. But you're not sure if it's from any sort of imminently falling crush he has, or if it's from getting caught in the imminently falling crush he has. But he just in this sort of grumpy gesture, just, I am feeling fine. I am totally myself. Am I not, Paige? He looks over to Paige.
Paige looks slightly nauseous.
Are you feeling all right? You look green in the gills.
Pierre, do you remember, what was her name? Celine? A few years ago?
He gets this kind of awkward smile, which he does not say he remembers, but the look on his face is one of remembrance.
I am feeling sick.
Oh, maybe we should take a walk, or maybe you could have some. Well, I did bring the wine. If we want to break out the wine, he pulls out a little flask.
Paige stands up. She's like, I am going to take a walk and get some, air away from this.
Ah, right. Well, I will join you. And just as you stand up and are about to go out on a walk, from downtown, we have the hunters, both of whom emerge out of the wood line, carrying a handful of freshly caught game.
That is why rabbit is the best meat, okay?
You will find no complaining from me. I just wanted to catch something quickly. We were already taking a long time, and it's hard to catch small game with a whip.
That is a fair point. Just need a little practice, that's all.
As you walk out of the woods, both of you notice a corpse. A strange animal corpse that you don't remember putting there. And you look over to the fire and you see a fourth person at the fire. And you don't remember there being a fourth person when you walked away, leaving 3 people at the fire.
Willow's head snapped around at the voices, sees them approaching the fucking dead snuffhound, and you just see her gesture towards it. Maddie, would you be a dear and bring that closer?
Looks between corpse and group. Yeah, sure. Who's that
Well,
over there?
bring us the body and you can ask it yourself.
Paige is like raising up a hand to like wave energetically. She's like, "Hello, we made a new friend. Come meet
In the
us."
what?
Electra looks over to you, Maddie, and there is like a sort of raised eyebrow. Made the friend in the woods.
Yeah, I don't really trust it either.
And she'll walk over with you as you carry the.
I can't drag it. So, but
That's fine. I will plop it down. We'll plop it down over here.
Yeah, right
Next
next
to
to
the
Willow.
willow.
Because
Yeah.
you know what's about to happen.
Oh, by the way, Iris, for your enjoyment of what Willow is doing, Willow is currently set up to pluck out spider eyes, one by one.
Mhm. Willow is in full fucking like production mode of every available piece of these monsters that she can get her hands on that she thinks there might be something useful. She is just tearing them apart and collecting. Fucking leather gloves back on, elbow deep in nasty shit.
careful of the acid.
Oh, I'm managing just fine. But thank you. Look at these. And she just like holds up a glass vial full of eyeballs.
Hello.
Hello.
Whoa.
So, you, Maddie, looking at the eyeballs, from one of the spiders that you had fought, you can tell that like Willow has painstakingly gone through and plucked out individually each little black marble eye. And they range in size from golf ball to softball. They're massive, squishy black spheres. And it is a little unnerving, but you were also like chewed alive by the thing, so part of you is satisfied that it's dead and being harvested.
Yeah.
Cool
Yeah,
stuff.
exactly.
So Madigan has approached, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Describe Madigan for
Yeah,
Kira
character
really fast.
description.
Fuck.
I love how all of us don't want to
the
describe our
others have to do
characters.
it.
No, she has to because we had to.
True.
She has
I
to,
could-
and then you have to again, Kira, because she didn't hear.
Yeah, that's no worries.
I could just not.
No, it's
You have
you
to.
have to. You have to.
I will put you in the timeout corner, ma'am.
I could change channels by myself.
Oh my god, just go.
I can trap you in a channel, ma'am.
How tall is she? Start with that.
Yeah.
She's fucking short. She's like 5'3", I think I said. 5'2", 5'3", something like that.
Mm-hmm.
She has very long, curly red hair. Very long, like down her butt kind of thing. It's wild. She has fox ears, which is weird. You wouldn't expect that. She also has furry arms. Furry hands, arms, claws, whatever you want to call them. I think that's it. Am I missing anything? Oh, she carries a hammer. Yeah, she has a giant
Massive
hammer on her
war
back.
hammer.
Hair,
Yeah.
also her, how long her hair is and what color.
She did say
got
that.
Oh, you did? Okay, I missed it.
Very
Is
long,
she-
wavy red.
And the tail.
Yeah.
Is she? And there's a tail.
Oh yeah, there is a tail,
And
which
I
is
think
also.
she's supposed to be
really
like kind of stocky, right?
Oh yeah, she's buff.
She's
She's
thick.
strong.
Four
She's strong.
C's.
Yeah.
So Angharad is about 6 feet tall, kind of willowy in build, and she's very beautiful, but she has this very sad look to her. Like she's just heard some terrible news is her resting default face. She's long white hair.
Thank you.
And her eyes are this amberish color, and in the light of the campfire, they seem to have a soft glow to them. She has slightly pointed ears, and she's wearing very old ranger-ish armor, which doesn't quite seem to fit her if you're familiar with the way that armor should fit. But as Madigan approaches, Angharad actually stands and will walk over toward her with, like, determination and a slight bit of awe.
Hmm?
And she is going to attempt to put her hands on Madigan's shoulders, just resting them on either side.
Well, she just laid down this thing, right? Standing right here,
Mhm.
next to Willow. I imagine she was talking to Willow. She stands up, or your character stands up and like puts her hands on her shoulders, turns like, the fuck? Excuse me?
You say this, and Angharad has a very intense look about her, which the others have just discovered. But she's staring very intently at Madigan with a sort of like soft, tender look in her eyes. I'm sorry, it's. You look precisely the way I imagined you would. You remind me so much of her.
Maddie side eyes. The rest of the group.
Maddie, we're gonna need to make some rolls right now. We're gonna lightning round, catch you up,
Okay.
because a lot of information is hitting you all at once, both in the form of new character saying stuff and also like new and familiar scents hitting your nose.
I was actually gonna ask that.
Yeah.
How does
So-
she smell?
Give me a perception check, and this is a scent-based one,
Yay.
and it will be at 3 purple.
Oh no. 3 purple, but I get a blue. Roll. Fuck.
Ah, okay. Now roll me. I want to say. Roll me an intellect check.
Oh, that's not gonna go in well.
And roll me an intellect check at 1 purple.
How do I do that? 'Cause I can't
Left
click
click.
intellect.
Well, you can just build one.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Build. That, there we go. 2 green, and you said at 1 purple?
1 purple.
Is there anything else that should be added to this?
No.
Okay.
This is a very simple check to see if you remember something.
Okay.
Yeah. So
That'd be a
you
yes.
yeah, so when this person gets up and walks over to you and puts their hands on your shoulders, you are caught off guard by the suddenness of the gesture and the proximity to this stranger. But this new scent wafts over you, a new scent of this person. And there's a lot going on with their scent. There is, one, an unfamiliar scent of that is what this person smells like. But in this second wave, you get a hit of something that is like, wait, that smells off, and you try to focus in on it. And the second you start to narrow down, like, what is that smell? What does it remind me of? And then this third wave hits, and immediately you're taken away from that new scent, and you're reminded of something from ages ago. You are hit with a familiar, like, I remember this smell, but this is different from the first one. This is like something like in the same way that you keep an old leather jacket in the closet and you pull it out and put it on, you remember what it smells like. That is that third scent that hits you. That scent of like familiarity and warmth, and as you are processing all of this, you like blink, and for once, the sense that does you the most here is your visual sense, because you're kind of scrambled from input for your nose and your ears, and you're just not sure what's going on, but you blink and kind of reset. And as you blink and reset, your eyes focus in, and you get a look at this person whose arms are on either side of your shoulder, or whose arms are on your shoulders, and you see armor that they're wearing, and you were much younger at the time, much younger, and your memory is a little fuzzy because it's difficult being both like having both the weirdling upbringing and the dilated way you experience time, on top of the fact that just a long amount of time passed. But the armor that this person is wearing is an old, like, not discarded, but replaced, outdated set of armor that Hawk used to wear. And it would be shocking if there were two sets of armor that looked like this. Not necessarily impossible, but very bizarre. What do you do?
Where did you get that armor?
Ah, you recognize it, don't you? I suppose you would. It was a parting gift from Alexandria.
Parting gift?
And Herod nods. It's an old story, and not a very happy one. But she didn't tell thee about me.
Not that I remember. Who
This
are
looks...
you?
And Herod, like, her features are soft and maudlin to begin with, and she's retreated back into maudlin now. Ah. Well, I suppose that would make sense. My name is Angharad, and Hawk taught me everything I know.
I do not know this person, right? This name has never popped up, ever.
Hawk, for all the years and years and years that you have known Hawk, for as much as you remember and have forgotten, she never once mentioned anyone by the name of Angharad. There was, and for the record, over the course of time you've known Hawk, Hawk has been all over this land, damn near explored like hundreds upon hundreds of acreage of woodland, gone to many of the nearby cities on foot, mind you. She has seen and done things that most people will never see or do. And there are many periods throughout your history with her where she would disappear for months or weeks, and for one period, years, disappearing for almost 3 years, and returning only to just pick up right back where she left off. Like, that's the Hawk MO. She is like this wandering vagabond, this imperial force, not imperial force, but this like persistent force that is just almost by destiny determined to be a hunter. She can't be stopped, and she has just been doing it for so long. And she has taken you, as well as many others who you have been kind of partially familiar with, along the journey becoming hunters. But through all of that, through all of the myriad of places she's been and experienced, and all of what she's shared with you, her best friend, she has never mentioned this person in her life.
Hmm. And what did she say upon initial meeting again? Just a refresher, please.
Angharad?
Yes.
When she initially said,
Yeah.
when she initially approached, she said something along the lines of, "Forgive me, you just remind me so much of her."
Okay.
And something to the effect of, you look exactly like how I met, or how she said you would.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. So, was I know this is a weird question, but you
Weird
said
game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you said that the armor was Hawk's. Was there a
Mm-hmm.
time period when she like switched up that I could recall?
Yeah. Yes. So there was a period, probably over 20 years ago for you, probably closer to 25, where you remember Hawk wearing that armor. And it's not that she probably got rid of it for a functional reason, because Hawk doesn't wear armor for the reasons that most people do. For her, part of it is an expression. It is a stylistic choice. She likes the way that a particular set looks. And you do recall her coming back in a different set of armor. She never really went into why she got rid of it. The most she would have ever told you is, yeah, I found something better, or I found something I liked better.
Yeah. And I don't think Maddie would technically question it.
Yeah,
We're like,
that's not,
it's new clothes,
it's
cool. Looks nice.
mm-hmm.
Like I feel like that's kind of the conversation.
Yeah, that is about probably how it went for her and you, and it's sort of like how that is how Hawk tends to be. She has never done these lengthy conversations of like, oh, I was doing this and then I did this, and she doesn't like having these long explanations. She just kind of goes by. She just goes. She likes to play fast and loose.
Well, it's funny that you know so much about me, but I have never heard of you.
Again, this does seem to wound Angharad. And there's a quiver to her smile, but she is still smiling. Well, circumstances weren't ideal then for us to have met. I had hoped that she would have told thee about me in some way, but really, I cannot tell you how much it means to me to see.
Kind of like she's not sure. Maddie is like really kind of confused about this whole interaction. She's like, this is weird. So she just kind of like scratches the back of her head a bit, like, well, glad you get some kind of comfort out of it.
Pierre awkwardly pipes up and is like at this building tension that has permeated the campsite. He awkwardly pipes up and is like, yes, you and Electra missed quite an eventful little exchange while we were sitting here enjoying the sounds of spider flaying from Willow. Well, these dog-like creatures came out, and there was a stressful moment where we did not know if we were going to get attacked without you, and this lovely maiden came out to save us from the unusual, what did you call them? Snuff hounds? Because they snuff out the light?
Exactly so, snuff hounds, and really it was no trouble at all, and to have brought everybody together is more than I could have possibly asked for.
And both you and Electra, Maddie, are aware of snuff hounds. They are kind of a campfire hazard in the woods, but they're easily kind of dealt with. It's not something that many hunters have to deal with because, depending on the situation, most hunters that you are with see in the dark. But yeah, like seeing snuff hounds and seeing the corpse, that kind of, it makes you go do this like slap your forehead thing of like, ah, shit. I should have thought about the snuff hounds.
She was like really cool. She bit one of them in like with like the thing, her. I don't know what it is, but it's big and it's strong and it
Scythe
scared
is
them
the
all
word
off.
you're looking for.
Is it the what?
Scythe.
The scythe?
She wielded this big. It looked like a gardening tool, but it is far more
yeah.
violent and
Fucking face palm.
Does she have a weapon on her?
Yeah, she does have an extremely large scythe with her.
Yeah.
Willow's like, I'm trying to help here. I'm trying, and you guys are not making it any easier.
Just like this scythe.
yeah, that weapon. She emerged from the shadows like a bat out of hell, and just whoosh, and Pierre imitates this big swinging motion, and then the snuff hound was gone, and the rest of them fled, and instantly they were saved. Well, the evening, I should say.
Yes. So she helped us, you know.
Oh, I guess it's a good thing you're here then. How many were there? Anyway.
So like a lot. I didn't.
Dozens even. I could not count them for so many.
Hardly dozens. There was less than a dozen.
That was like 20.
There were less than a dozen.
There were 6.
Just gestures. See?
Pierre,
like so many of them. I could have. All the shadows were moving.
Pierre puts his hand over his on the side of his mouth to block the shape of his mouth, and he whispers to you, Maddie. He, like stage whispers. It's like there were at least like 15. Listen to them. They are being bashful.
Paige, nod, nod, nod.
And
It's so
two of
many.
you are being overdramatic.
She was a hand over her heart.
Pierre,
What?
like, indignantly just puts his hands on his hips. He's like, I would never.
The two, you
Romantic?
serious? You're going to be all up in arms about me calling you both overdramatic when one of your primary ways of income is putting on stage shows. Overdramatic is part
Gee,
of the personality trait.
I have you know I am a stagehand. I do not participate in the performances that much.
Bullshit, I saw you on the stage.
He is my assistant, so he has to be more romantic than I am. But we're not that dramatic.
Have you
But
looked
he
at
is more
yourself in the
dramatic.
mirror recently, dear?
She
You wear a top hat, unironically.
The point is that we are very thankful for the timely intervention of Miss Angarad here. And Pierre does a half, like a partially tips his torso in a bow and holds his hand out to Angarad here.
Mm-hmm. And Paige has like a hand on her fucking the brim of her top hat. She looks slightly offended.
If
She
any of
looks up
you
at Willow.
are if any of you are interested at all, you can make an insight roll on Pierre to see if he is being influenced by any sort of compulsion of any kind.
I would like to roll insight.
Yeah, it can be an insight at 1 purple.
How down bad is this boy?
No,
Well, whether it was 6 or
Yes.
20.
she knows her brother.
Insight. Nope, nope.
Whether it was 6 or 20, though, if you're trained by Hawk, that should have been nothing.
Willow, you can assume that the like you can't get a perfect read on it, but you can definitely assume that the compulsion has worn off and this is just a thirsty French boy.
Okay, and Paige got 3 success. How down
Yeah,
bad
and
is he?
he is enamored with this woman. Like a
Is it
dark, mysterious knight who emerges from the woods to save the day. It is like it is like straight out of a storybook. And you specifically, Paige, you specifically know that Pierre loves fantasy stories like that. He's just so into it.
Oh my god, she probably fits the description of like his favorite book.
He's read like kind of classic literature and poems and other sort of works that have come out and post Weirdning that describe characters that are very similar to her.
Oh boy, but is it just like is it genuine stuff or is it the compulsion still?
For from what you can tell, it seems to be genuine. The compulsion
Okay.
might be weighing on his opinion heavily, or not heavily. It might be still weighing on his opinion, but
But he's
it's
on to like normal Pierre showing interest and not just stare.
in hindsight, it's sort of Pierre interest, and then the compulsion just kind of made it worse or better, depending on how you depending
I
on
love
how
that.
you phrase it.
Depending on who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But
And Maddie, you said if Hawk trained you, what?
Oh, basically, whether it was 6 or 20, if Hawk trained you, it should have been nothing.
Angharad, as Pierre gestures to her, will not leave him hanging and does offer him like a slight curtsy before turning her attention back to Matt again.
The boy's face is beet red. He looks very satisfied.
All it took was a single strike. But I understand. I might have. How do I put this? If thou hast any questions for me, glad would I be to put your mind at ease.
Hmm. When did you train with her?
This would be 20 years ago, right?
Yeah, thereabouts. So that would put you at roughly 18, late 1870s.
In the 1870s?
How old does she look? Is this another weirdling? I'm just gonna straight up ask.
She looks comparable in age to Pierre, like somewhere in the 20s. Though it would not be it would not be uncharacteristic for a weirdling to look in their 20s.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Just ask Willow. Willow has done the Pokemon
Yes,
typing.
Willow has done Pokemon typing.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you want to lean in and try to get a closer whiff of her scent.
You know what? She will. That sounds very Maddie.
So this group, we're not very big on social mores, is what I'm hearing here.
No.
No.
What?
What do eels have to do with this?
Behaving appropriately according to social standards.
Oh, yeah. No. At least not Maddie. I can't speak for anyone else. No, she will 100% lean in closer. Like looking her in the eye, lean in closer and just sniff.
I think the only one that gives a shit about social mores is fucking Paige.
Wait, what did I?
Paige,
What did
Paige
I
and
miss?
Pierre.
Paige and Pierre. What do they care about?
Social etiquette.
Ah.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
being fucking weirdos.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like they're in the woods or anything right now.
In fact,
So
as Madigan leans closer to do this, Angharad actually parts her hair away to make this easier for her.
So, Maddie, you lean forward and try to whiff some of the scent of this person so that you can better assess what they are. Go ahead and make me another perception roll for your scent,
Mhm.
and go ahead. It's a perception roll at we'll say 3 purple still, and
Okay.
then you can make me if you could make me a discipline check at 3 purple, and I'm going to make it upgrade it once.
Wait. So, perception, normal perception at 3 purple, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, rolling that first.
Or successes.
Whew.
Whew.
And then
See-
a discipline?
Yeah, and a discipline at 3, but upgrade it once.
See, this just goes to show scent is the most OP ability on any character that has it.
Gotta get that sniffer.
That big sniffums.
Big sniffums.
Every game needs a
Shay
business.
Shay would be busted in this campaign. or would be overloaded, like sensory overload.
One or
You
the
could
other.
drop Shay here and she would be fine.
She would actually be
Oh,
very,
God.
very solidly. Yes.
Honestly,
I mean,
Discipline?
oh no.
Discipline
Oh, no!
is not my stat, my dude.
did you forget she has 1 green?
I have 1 green.
You didn't upgrade it.
That's fine.
Oh, oops. Sorry.
Actually, yeah. You gotta do 1 upgrade because it might be a despair, which would be fucking funny.
Okay, so
Please get a despair.
upgrade difficulty.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
You
just-
said,
Mhm.
oh, wait. So it'd be 2 purple and 1 red, essentially, right?
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Give me a despair. Do it. Do it! Coward!
Oh, that's more failures though.
There's more failures.
Oh, she sneezes.
So you lean in close and you sniff as it helps very, very much as Angharad like kind of fixes her hair, and a strong waft of this ethereal scent comes into your nose, and as you are breathing and sniffing it, that initial wave that hits you before comes back again, and you're like, ah, okay, I can place this now. She definitely has a non-human scent. There's something about her scent that is distinctly like like a weirdling type creature. And you're trying to kind of parse more information about it, because she smells floral and naturey and fresh, like when you freshly pluck a flower or freshly cut the grass. There is a freshness to her scent. And as you're getting this information, you don't break eye contact. You said you like this ethereal princess in the woods, and there is palpable, just magical beauty here. And there is a very strong feeling that hits you like a truck as you are just gazing into her eyes. You want to like reach out and just very, very gently kiss her to see if she's actually real.
The snuff hound. Sigh, stand up, find the meaty bit of the arm again, and pinch.
Great.
Yeah, like as you are having this moment that feels like it is out of a storybook, just you and this beautiful maiden and this serene setting, there is a sharp, just violent, piercing pain in the tender spot of your arm that just snaps you right the fuck out of it.
What's that for?
Because Fayekin here can't handle her own magic. Keep your wits about you, or else I'll pinch you again.
Maddie looks a little annoyed. You're Faye, huh?
Does it bother thee?
I don't really like interacting with them, to be completely honest. Not anything against you. Like, you're great. Sort of. But yeah, they're my thing.
Pierre, it looks across the fire to you, Paige, and he puts his hand up so that you can see his mouth and no one else can. Well, except Electra. And he says, "Is that what I look like? You're just kind of gormlessly gawking at this woman?"
Paige puts a hand up to also block her same gesture as him. It's like, yes, but more stupid.
He put, like, mortified, he silently grieves and puts both hands over his face like, I can't believe she saw me like that.
I couldn't hear you. What?
He like does this mortified like gesture, but silently, like flexing his fingers in frustration, and then puts his hands in his face, and you can hear him, Paige, mumble like, I can't believe she saw me like that. More not so embarrassed that he looked like was very openly gawking at this woman, but more embarrassed that she looked at him and she was not gawking and just had to watch this dude gape over her like a dork. Embarrassed that it happened to him.
She's gonna just, I don't know, toss a marshmallow at him over the fire. He's like, it's okay, you know. I think she says this happens a lot, so it's nothing, new for her.
Pierre takes 6 strain as the mortification begins to set over his whole body.
You're being dramatic.
I'm not being dramatic. We have to have this discussion.
Shh, they're talking about something.
Willow turns from Maddie as she's kind of groaning and upset about getting pinched, and like makes eye contact with everyone around the fire, and like flexes the hand that is without the glove. A little bit of neural stimulation, particularly of painful type, does tend to snap people out of these things. Just keep that in mind, and if you get pinched or poked or otherwise inconvenienced, know why.
I mean, it's better than getting stabbed.
Yeah, like, that is an option if you'd prefer.
No, not an option.
I mean, I do have a scalpel. And a machete, though machete might be a little overkill.
A little. No stabbing. That's mean, and it stabs.
Well,
Willow just kind of shrugs and goes back to her spot to continue fucking dissecting the snuff hound.
Sits down at the snuff hound, and you hear the like
feel like-
wet slurping of viscera.
I feel like Willow's sitting here like, none of you better get struck by another Feora. I swear to God.
No, swear to God, Paige, you don't fucking move.
I
See,
mean,
the
if
issue
either-
is Paige is so small and weak that a pinch would probably actually do damage to Paige.
I feel like a flick would be the equivalent of a pinch.
As this is happening and everyone settles down, Angharad looks to Madigan and goes, "Would an oath put thee at rest?
What was that?
Would an oath put thee at rest?" she said.
Huh?
So, Maddie, you are, having been a hunter for a few years now, you and Electra both, Electra will speak up and say, she wishes to give her word. On what? Precisely.
That this Angharad shall never knowingly cause Madigan any harm.
Well,
Electra
ideally,
looks at
that
you,
oath
Maddie.
would extend beyond just Madigan. I'm just saying.
Could we all get an oath, please? Raising up her hand.
Not- I mean,
Feels like actually.
I mean, not that I don't appreciate the offer, but I don't think you could take me if you tried.
Kind of drags the fucking stuff hound a little bit further away to be away from that bullshit.
She's grinning. She's full on grinning. It's a joke. Partially.
Oh God.
Angharad is at that, grins ear to ear, and just nods. Be that as it may, you have trouble with Faye, yes?
Yeah. I have a question, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Are there a lot of other beings that are able to tap into memories and stuff? Like, this is me trying to see, like, would Maddie trust this random person out of nowhere that, like, oh yeah, I was trained under Hawk, like, I know this person, yada yada. Because, like, my thought would be, if there aren't a lot of creatures like that that Maddie knows of, she would. I mean, it's essentially a sibling, a younger sibling, is what she's thinking. A little annoyed that that she wasn't brought up, but
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yeah, we're comrades. We got this.
So to answer your question about the memory thing, elaborate more on what you mean. Like they do do you mean like the thing Paige did?
No, not necessarily that, but just being all like being able to tap into memories.
Read another person's memory in order
Mhm.
to trick them.
Yeah, thank you.
Gotcha. So you have not met one. You know hunters who have met creatures that were rumored to have such power. But the nature of affecting and manipulating memory, even simply being able to read memories, like from someone's mind, or to see the visions of the past or the future, is extremely rare, especially among Fae. One thing to note is if you remember, Hawk was given a vision by a Fae,
Yeah.
and most Fae do not fuck around with time or memory. Most Fae tend to shy away from that. But there are creatures who can. They are very unique, and that power is very particular.
Okay.
But there are creatures who exist.
I am going to go with Melly Trust. What? Angharad? Right? That's how you say it?
Angharad, yes.
Angharad. Okay.
Or Angharad, however you would like to.
It's gonna take me a little bit, but I will remember, I promise.
It's
Mutual
okay.
struggle. We're all in the same boat.
Yeah.
I think the only NPC who said her name is Pierre so far.
I'm scared, man.
Yeah, no, she's just gonna see Angharad as another, like, she's gonna trust what she's saying, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Is what I'm going to go with. So, yeah, I mean, I don't really trust Faye, but like, I mean, if Hawk trusts you, then why shouldn't I?
Pierre, kind of sits up and nervously he interlaces his fingers to make a single fist, and just kind of drums his fingers on the opposite palm, and he says, "So it is settled. Should we have Angarad join our little merry band here?"
I would yes, because she, very strong and fast and nice.
And she knows the woods. She lives
She
here.
knows
This
the
is
woods.
her home turf.
Yes, she knows the woods and is good. I say yes.
Maddie looks her up and down. I will agree on one condition. And she puts her arm out. Arm wrestle.
Angharad initially looked a bit concerned, but then at the mention of arm wrestling, her concern breaks, and she nods. I cannot.
Magically, there is a stump that is cut perfectly at the correct height for both of you to prop up an arm and elbow.
Oh, okay. Oh,
All right. I'm probably going to
Paige is
lose this, but it will be fun.
Paige is officiating.
This is Maddie's hello.
One must arm wrestle the Madigan.
Yes.
Particularly
So, go
if
ahead.
the Pierre is blowing up about how strong you are.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is a broad weapon.
Go ahead and both of you make athletic checks with no purple, and we'll just go straight by successes and advantages. choose.
Athletics.
Athletics, huh?
Yes.
Uh-oh.
I will for
Oh,
my
boy.
own amusement, I will use one of my story points to upgrade your check, Kira.
Oh god. All right, so you
Hey,
want me to
hey,
upgrade?
hey, you gonna do that shit? You gonna do that shit? We can play. There's multiple people that can play this game, sir.
All right. So just straight whatchamacallit? Just straight
it's
athletics
just straight athletics with no purple.
and upgraded ones on my end. Okay.
Yes.
Fucking take an augment then, fucking Maddie. You get yourself an extra green.
Listen, you want to cast spells, you can, but I will narrate how the spell interacts with you. I am trying to. I am assuming that this is not a brawn build, and it will need a little bit of a boost to keep up with ape arms Madigan.
Yeah, I didn't put any ranks in athletics because she's a fucking ranger.
Paige is
Alright.
wanted over to officiate this.
All right. So here we go. I'll roll. What we got? Big money, no whammies.
That's pretty good.
No, it's
Very,
not.
very respectable. Respectable. At least you succeeded, because if you didn't succeed with no purple, I would not know how to help you.
Yeah, no, Jesus.
Jesus fucking Christ.
So there is the count of 3, 2, 1, and then Page hands come off the group fist, and Maddie, you feel every last muscle fiber in this woman's arm just burst with energy, and she's just like pushing as hard as she can, and you are a brick wall. You just, with the minimal effort, you just bend your wrist, curl it down, and slowly sink to the end of the stump. You've beaten the Fae.
She's beaten her fears. She is unstoppable now.
Jesus Christ.
And Harriet doesn't even seem upset about this. In fact, she seems delighted. And the way that she laughs is maybe the most like animated and genuine laugh that the party has heard thus far. And looking at the stump and at Maddie presumably flexing, I would imagine. Truly, what a... Oh, go on.
No, continue.
No, after you.
I was just gonna have Paige announce the winner and give Angharad like a pat.
Angharad nods along with the pat, kind of, bows from the shoulder as a thank you. Truly, what a resemblance.
Don't worry, we'll get you in shape soon. I'll teach you the tricks. And she full on just puts her arm around Ingrid, and she's just like, welcome to the group.
Angharad looks happy. There's no other word for it. She's just very happy and content at this moment. And she looks out at the other members of the party, and she just smiles. Thank you for looking after your Angharad.
I suppose.
Pierre.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to continue to plot stuff. So if you just got fucking weird shit for Pierre, you can do it.
No, he was going to like salute and say it would be an honor to have you in our group, and be like overly extra.
Just looking up from fucking snuffhound innards. Just kind of eyeing Ingra. Well, if you're going to be joining us, then I suppose that means that you need to be fully informed of why we're here. Because that might change your opinion of why you would, or if you would really want to be hanging around.
I can assure thee it won't.
Okay. Good, because we're on a super secret mission. You know? She like ducks down, like as she's standing, as if like the super secret. You have to duck down slightly, duck your head down to your shoulders to stealth.
Well, I mean, considering you're here, I figured Hawk had sent you, right? You did see her, right?
The smile shrinks a bit. It has been many a year since I've seen her. I have dwelled within these woods for quite some time.
Oh. Sorry? Kind of scratches her head.
I think what Miss Madigan means to say is our mission is paramount assigned to us by Hawk. And, well, you haven't happened to hear any rumors about something like, oh, a magical child wandering around the woods with some kind of powerful artifact?
Line?
They...
Line?
So, you have heard
The magical
rumors.
child wandering the woods.
You have heard rumors. And there is someone you were... So, there's quite a few places that you've heard this rumor. Some of them more savory than other places. But you know a few different Fae groups, since Fae are more prevalent in this part of the woodland, who are interested in this supposed child carrying some sort of artifact. And I will tell you this for free, Kira. You know that some of these Fae, some of these less than savory types of Fae, are very good at tracking down children.
Oh boy.
If it be her thou seekest, I'd advise thee to move quickly. There are unsavory characters here who would find her far more swiftly than any human ever could. But yes, I have heard of her.
Well,
Do
that's
you
going to be
happen
an
to
issue.
know if do you happen to know of any of these Fae who might be willing to work with us to help us find her first? Maybe before one of those more unsavory types of Fae?
This was a bad time to start eating chips.
Hmm.
Pulling an Amy, I see.
Hey,
Hmm.
I'm sorry.
just because you're right doesn't mean you have to say it.
I was just feeling snacky.
Yeah, listen, munching time happens, okay?
If I could have had a hole in my back.
Omen.
All right, so The question was, do I know of any fae that we can bargain with to help here? Well, there's always bargaining with some of the courts. Like, yeah, there's always with the court of. Oh, okay. I do know. I think, right?
You do.
Okay.
So I will tell you very explicitly. Actually, I'll just type it outright so you.
Sidebar.
And then
Okay, what do I need to roll on this snuff hound, Joe? While you're typing.
it depends. If you're trying to get something rare, it will be either 3 or 4 or 5 purple. And let me see.
Finish typing.
Yes.
Does Willow have the patience to hold fucking torchlight? Not Willow, Paige.
I was gonna say, I mean, it's either she sits at the fire and she inadvertently sees Pierre being gross, and by that I mean being normal. However, that is her older brother, and that's gross. So she will gladly assist Willow. She's over here now. Looking.
Let's get the boost again.
Hey.
There we go. Hey, 1 success and 1 advantage. Cool. So snuffhounds are much easier to work with. They have somewhat familiar physiology to dogs. This one, you lose the entirety of the head because of the scythe maneuver here, but you are able to withdraw some of the internal, like, innards, and from the innards, you are actually able to get what basically amounts to a smoke sack, where it's kind of like a mixture of their lungs and their stomach. But you effectively have a smoke bomb vial without any necessary work to, unless you want to make it not a literal organ that you throw, you don't need to do any work for it to be completely functional.
Paige getting a mini lesson on theoretical physiology for this monster.
I mean, she'll take the lesson. She pays very close attention. She is learning.
I imagine, Willow, you are getting into the guts of this creature, which, without the head on it, looks remarkably, again, like a shaggy dog, a shaggy short hair-ish dog. And as you pry the rib cage open and kind of root around in there, you find this unusual organ that you would not find in any other animal, that smoke sac. And you give it like a light squeeze as it feels like there's a kind of pressure as it's full. And as you squeeze it, little plumes come out of one part of it. And that's bada boom. There's your smoke sack.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Angharad ponders the answer to this question.
The way that I see it, there are 2 paths laid out before thee. Either beseeching the Queen of the Court of Broken Branches for help, or there is Didi. For many years, not many years, for quite some time he's been stuck in a trap nearby. And all Fae in time are willing to bargain.
The name Dee Dee Madigan does ring with very distant, familiar sense. There's like a little tingle in the back of your head that's like, I think I remember Hawk talking about a Fae creature named Dee Dee. But you can't quite place it.
Hmm. Sounds kind of familiar.
What exactly is the business of this deity?
Hunting and tracking. There exist no creatures beneath the moon nor stars that Didi cannot track, given enough time.
Do you think they could find the child before the, unsafe hungry ones do?
Yes, if you were to free them.
Free them.
Mm,
And what is this Dee Dee? Is it like a Fae bear, or is it like a big bird?
What is Didi, Joe? What is
Dee Dee, let me get you a picture of Dee Dee. Mm, is it folder? Ah,
I'm gonna go ahead and warn you, I got
there we go.
dinner done here, so I'm gonna be needing to hop out soonish.
We're at a really good stopping point because this will be a big decision for you guys to mull over.
She has the appearance of a woman, white-haired, in her 30s or 40s by human reckoning.
Is she, nice, or is she, mean?
Yeah.
mm.
No.
Why exactly is she trapped? Well,
Who trapped
confined.
her?
These are a lot of questions. You got to give Joe time to type.
No, we don't have time.
And Herod buffers like a BioWare companion before you pick a dialogue option.
Ah. I wrote it down here. Here we go.
She committed a crime. She's a criminal.
Who
She's in
among us
jail.
hasn't?
She's in fake jail.
Why was she locked up in Fate jail? Obviously, it's not for no reason.
To make up our own lore.
Honestly, that would fucking match. I feel like Pierre and Paige would just start spouting off as soon as there's a pause. Is it this, or is it this, or is it this? And it's like, fucking give me a second.
Both of them are just like, she's in fake jail. Cousin, what did she do? Stole a bit of pride. No, not just the pride. She probably stole a horse too. She robbed someone of all their jewelry. Pearls went everywhere.
Oh man, I so badly want you guys to go and meet some of these characters, man.
I feel like we're more likely to go meet them if you don't stick them in jail, Joe.
You can talk to this one in jail. It's legal.
She has been imprisoned for the better part of 25 years. As for whether she's kind or not, I suppose that depends on the definition that you're using. Kind by human standards, kind by ours.
Human standards? Like, where is she on that scale?
Common standards, she's quite friendly.
And why was she imprisoned? And by who?
As I said, it was many years ago. And among the Fae, there are many who would imprison them for the simple fact of their nature, feeding themselves. Now, Dee Dee was quite vicious in her feeding, and this is something that can be very upsetting for some people. That is the cause of her imprisonment.
When you say feeding, how did she feed on people?
Did she feed on people? Wait,
She
hold on.
did.
Time out. She
Don't
holds up
you
her hand in like a T, like, hold on. She eats people?
I mean, technically, you've already met several people that feed on people, so that shouldn't be a surprise for you.
The ghouls that we saw at the show, they
And
they eat
Vincent
humans.
and Lisa technically feed on people as well, just theirs comes pre-bagged because they live in a city.
Right.
This is true. You are correct.
Okay. So like, what does she do to get, in jail? Like, what makes it vicious?
Oh,
Mortals aren't fond of her feeding methods.
What are the methods?
Was that what method is it?
He's like, okay, cool. What are the methods? So you're dancing around this. What are the fucking methods?
She is fond of skin.
skin.
It's the skin.
Pierre's eyes go wide.
Like this. Points to her arm.
The very same. In fact, she's quite drawn to beautiful skin. And after she's fed, well, she likes to wear it.
Ah,
How does she eat and where it? She eats the skin. How did?
Never has this unmarried seen her eat. However, I can assure thee that in exchange for her freedom, she would exchange many things, perhaps an oath, such as I offered thee.
And she is the best tracker, you said? She can track down anyone.
As swift as the wind, as inevitable as death.
But
Pierre gulps.
then she can uh, feed on lots of people. Like how she kill them, or does she take like a little bite, like a small, or is it the whole person?
Angharad tilts her head.
Is that really a question thou wishest to hear the answer for?
Yes, that's why I ask. We need to know. If if we're thinking about asking for her help, we need to know like the impact that breaking her would have to the people.
So thou art certain thou wishest to know the answer?
Yes, I said so. Like twice, 3 times.
3 times you have asked me for the answer.
What's going on? Do you not know the answer? If you don't want to tell, it's okay. But
Oh, I do.
oh,
3 you have asked, and thus I answer thee. She eats the bones and the skin, she eats the whole body, bones and all. Leaves behind only the skin.
Pierre, goes ghost white.
This doesn't sound like someone we should be releasing.
no, I don't think so either.
Well, it does depend on how fast we want to find this girl. If she does truly have the Pandora's box, it's of the utmost importance that we get it before anybody else does.
Right, but we can't just let someone that does that out. They could eat so many people, and so many lives could be lost. When we could try to find the girl on our own.
Willow just kind of looks towards Paige and then looks at Pierre and then her eyes land on Maddie. Do you have any idea of where to start if we needed to start looking exactly tomorrow?
If thou meanest to start tomorrow, I could lead thee to Didi, I imagine. But if that does offend thine senses, there is the matter of the Queen, who is quite fond of lost children.
Eh, The way you phrase that makes me think that the Queen would want to keep the child, and we don't know that that's necessarily anything that she should be doing either.
Keep, perhaps, perhaps not. But she does comprise a court of all of the rejected and of orphans. She looks after them.
Maddie, you, as a hunter, have loosely heard of something like this. You didn't know any name to it, but you've heard hunters talk about a fae creature, some kind of fae princess or royalty or something that tries to supposedly lure innocent, lonely people or children or animals into the woods to keep them.
be real here. It's let's be real here. It's not just. It's not a maybe she'll let them go. She wants to keep them, right? I don't know full details, but rumors have gone around.
She is fond of keeping them, but there is always room for bargaining.
The bargaining with Faye is so annoying.
And Harrod only smiles.
And a lot of the times you don't really win it in the end.
Well, we are. It seems to me that we are on something of a tight clock. What would Hawk do? And he looks to Maddie and then looks to Ankarad.
Mm-mm.
And Harrod pauses for a moment.
Were it Alexandria here, we'd not need to worry about bargaining. Quickly she would track the child herself. However, given the option, I suspect that she would rather deal with the Queen.
As much as I hate to admit, I do kind of agree. She's kind of pouting a bit with her arms crossed over her chest.
Okay, so I think it's safe to say that is a Didi is crewed out. I say no.
Maybe keep it as a last resort if something goes wrong with the Queen of the Fae.
Last resort is just running, and she's always hoping we find the kid.
And worst comes to worst, we can make her.
No,
What?
no, you cannot. Thou couldst as much force the Queen of the Fae as thou couldst force the moon.
Okay, so
Can't with that attitude.
Take great care the forces that thou challenged.
It's just. If I had something of this kid's, maybe I could track it myself. Really annoyed.
he's just gonna
Yeah.
stress eat a marshmallow.
Angharad looks over the gathered companions. She also reaches over for a marshmallow, which she pops into her mouth raw and then eats very quickly.
Well, how about I leave all of you to determine what path you shall take? Worry not, I shall guard thee this evening.
But don't you need to, sleep?
There's no need for concern. I have always been fonder of the night.
So when do you sleep in the daytime? Because we walk in the daytime.
And you shall not find your Angharad lacking behind.
Okay, so I'm assuming you don't sleep. Okay. Nice. Good for you.
Pierre leans over and just starts waving a hand. Just like, do not be rude to the guest. She is an emissary from the Fae. Be nice.
I am being nice. What are you doing?
You are badgering her with many questions.
We're all asking her a question. You know what? We need to talk about things as a group and figure out what we're going to do. Because there's many options, and I am tired.
There might be something to trying to discuss all of this in the morning after everybody has recovered a little bit.
Yes. I agree. I think, talking more later, getting something to think, and clear our heads.
Okay. Then bed down for the evening with Ankarad as the night watch. And next session we will pick up in the morning.
Yeah, to discuss all of this.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good.
Nice. I had a lot of fun this session. Z, go get dinner. Get out of here.
Yeah, I'm getting texts from my mother. But also, I went ahead because I didn't know if Kira had been fully made aware of it. That's why I dropped the Pandora's box, since we
Uh-huh.
have neglected to talk about what exactly we are doing. So, fill Kira in if she has not been filled in about Pandora's box. Well, I'm going to be back in a few minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.